Welcome everybody. I thought I'd do this video on how to use the oven and grill cleaner. I get that right here, the oven and grill cleaner. What I usually do at a home presentation is clean usually the oven door, because for most people using their self-cleaning oven, if you use that, only cleans the interior. It doesn't clean the actual door itself. And I will put up also some information about why self-cleaning ovens are not the best thing on the planet, unfortunately, but whatever. So I'm going to show you some preliminary work here first, and that is I've heated this oven to something warm, right? This enzyme, the oven and grill cleaner, is an enzyme, a natural enzyme that works much like the enzymes in our stomach, breaking down protein and grease into carbon dioxide and water. And so this enzyme is a little different from all the other enzymes that Norwex has, in that it needs to be a little bit warm. So what I do is I heat the oven to 170, which is generally the lowest temperature that ovens can go, turn it off, and then have it go cool down a little bit till it gets to be about around 100 degrees. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this right now, is I'm going to open the oven door, and you can see, well, maybe not, I'm going to tilt this down so you can see a little bit better. You can see this oven door has a buildup of kind of a brown stuff that's kind of baked on. And so I'm just going to spray. And you know, if your oven hasn't been cleaned in a long time, you might use more product than you normally would. I know for me, right now, you know, I tend to check my oven about once a month. I'm going to put this back up. I check my oven about once a month to make sure that there isn't any chunkies in there that are building up. So I'm going to let that set for 5 minutes and then I'll come back. Okay? All right. See you in a little bit. Hey there, so welcome back. I'm just going to show you a couple of the tools that I've gathered. It's been about 5 minutes. A couple of the tools that I've gathered that you need for this second part. So first off, I need a spear net. Spear nets are these. They're little steel wool. They're a stainless steel scrubber. They don't rust. They come in a packet of 2. They're called spear nets. They're great for scrubbing any kind of like paints and stains off, pots and pans, cast iron. They're really great for cast iron, but I use them all the time for oven doors and grills because they're just great. They are not for like non-stick things. That would not be a good thing. But anyway, next thing you need is a cup of water, and I like to have a wet EnviroCloth handy, and if I'm in a really good mood and I want to polish the oven door, I have my window cloth. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to tilt this down so we can see the oven door here, and ready to go. So I'm going to take my spear net and the water, and I'm just going to dip it in there, and I'm going to start scrubbing. I am using a little bit of pressure, but I'm not like breaking a sweat or anything. I don't know if you can see already that this is coming off. So notice I'm dipping again. My water's getting nice and gross. I'll scrub the door part here. Now, I get a lot of questions from customers about how do you clean the inside, like in between the glass, because sometimes there's like drippies that get between the glass that I don't know how it gets there, to be honest with you, but I know I've seen it. I've been frustrated by it, and people ask me, how do you get it clean? And so, to be honest, I've not done it, but I've heard and seen that there are YouTube videos on how you can get between that glass. Perhaps if I get really ambitious, I will do a video on how to clean that. Okay, that looks pretty good. I know you can't see from where you are, but hopefully it looks really good to me. So I don't know if you can see how gross the water is, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wet EnviroCloth. Remember, it's folded in quarters, and I'll just do the perimeter first, like that, and then just right down that way. That looks really good. And you can see how this looks pretty bad. This will rinse right out, so I would take this to the sink, run it under water, and just kind of shush the spokes, that's what I call it, and it'll come right out. And then if you're feeling really generous, you can polish that up nice. I hope you can see how nice and clean that is, and it's not greasy, it's all done. Now, realistically, yes, I would go in, you could go in here. The only thing you want to caution is you can actually spray these racks and do these, because these are still actually a little bit warm. When you do clean the bottom, you want to not put the oven and grill cleaner on the element. That's the only thing. So just, you flip that up or you unplug it, and then you can do the bottom. And that's it. So I hope that was helpful. And I hope that was helpful and that it answered some of your questions on how to do that. It's not hard to do. The other thing is, if your oven is too hot, I'm just trying to think of any other things to tell you. If your oven is too hot, you'll see the oven and grill cleaner kind of steam, and it'll give off a little bit of a smell. Just make sure your oven is cooled down after that 170, so it's just barely warm. And the other thing is, I have done this where I've sprayed the oven and grill cleaner and waited too long, and it got really dried on, and then it's more difficult to scrub. So in that case, I might reapply it and reheat the oven just a little bit, just a tiny, and then just get back in gear and pay attention. Setting a timer for 5 minutes is a really good idea too. So hope that was helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.